Hey, it's Brock from Bama Geeks. Gonna jump in here really quickly before we start the episode. We would love to review the new Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer. However, we've already recorded this episode and missed it by a couple of days. The trailer is phenomenal. You can check that out online, and also be sure to check out IGN's 15-minute director commentary breakdown of the trailer with Jason Reitman. It's worth it, every moment, but we'll break it down, as well as the toys that have been announced by Hasbro. You get to see some pretty cool things from the new movie. We'll talk about it on the next episode, but for now, let's jump into this one.
Stand by to receive our transmission.
Where are you boys from in the world?
Alabama, sir.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Welcome to the Bama Geeks podcast. We are four friends diving into our favorite pop culture topics with a dash of Southern charm.
We have the tools, we have talent. It's Miller time.
Whoa, this is heavy.
Pizza Dude's got 30 seconds.
Wait, what? Crazy? You didn't say I was crazy.
You got the wrong guy. I'm the dude, man.
You want something done, you've got to do it yourself.
Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes!
So grab your biscuits and gravy, a glass of sweet tea, and enjoy the nerdy hospitality of Brock and Jessica Parker, Bo Bearden, and Kevin Gardner.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Hey, y'all. Wait, I'm not Miss Minutes. All right. Welcome to another episode of the Bama Geeks. You know, I don't sound like Tara Strong. It's okay. But hey, it's our 10th episode.
Woohoo! Woo! Number 10.
We've hit double digits.
Double-digit episodes, everybody.
I'm Brock Parker. We thank you so much for joining us. And we've got another guest tonight. So we'll go around the table, let everybody introduce themselves.
It's Jessica.
Hey, it's Kevin.
They still let me in. It's Bo.
And hi, I'm Melissa.
That's right. My daughter is joining us yet again. We're going to try to fit her on every episode that we have them on Sunday nights, just because she's fun.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
So we're going to banter here just for a quick second. We've had a lot of things going on the last couple of weeks in personal lives. We did not sit down and actually decide what we were going to talk about until tonight. We knew Loki was a given. We're going to discuss the season finale of Loki at the end of the episode, so we don't spoil anything. But it's been 2 weeks, and everybody and their grandmother has seen it by now, I would hope.
Yeah, if you're on social media quite a bit, I'm kind of sure you know what's been going on.
Yeah, so we'll do a quick wrap up on Loki. Get our takes on it. We're going to talk about San Diego Comic-Con, the at-home con that's a lot of toy companies participated in this past week. A lot of new reveals for toys. Did we spend money? It's us. Of course we did.
It's possible, yeah.
Yeah, possible. Mm-hmm. We're going to non-spoilerish touch on the new Masters of the Universe Revelations on Netflix. I think I'm the only one who binge watched it this weekend. And Bo has seen the trailer. Kevin saw the first episode. Jess was like, just fill me in.
I did watch the first episode in full, and then there was things I had to life and handle and take care of. But
life.
Well, I mean, I saw I was watching. I was kind of in and out while he was watching it, but I got the general gist of it. So
yeah. So
and I'll go back and watch it. I just, like I said, life was causing some interruptions that I just couldn't help at that particular moment.
Yeah. So we'll touch on that. Just a very quick overview, initial thoughts of like the animation, the voice cast, which, oh my gosh, I can't wait to talk about that. Kevin and Bo have seen Space Jam. Jess and I have not, and probably won't. So they are going to be free to talk about whatever they want to on that. So we watched something that Kevin had mentioned last time. Two guys went on a Dumb and Dumber mini bike road trip through from Nebraska to Aspen. Colorado. Common Tread is the guys who did that, and very entertaining video if you like Dumb and Dumber. So I guess we'll kick off, see what everybody's been up to the last couple of weeks. Alyssa's had band camp.
Yeah. Bass clarinets for the win.
Yeah, she brought the big bass clarinet to our house. They're with us for a week.
You're doing bass clarinet on the field?
Well,
that's impressive.
Well,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or hear me out. The marching might be a little lacking because itty bitty private school, no people. So
okay. I'm going to say bass clarinet's usually a very, very much a concert band instrument.
that's true. I tried marching with it one year and it was not a vibe.
Yeah. Yeah, she did it, 2 years ago?
2 years ago, I think we marched.
Yeah, now they sit in the stands. There's only 10 people in her band, so they don't do much marching.
6 of those are color guard members.
So yeah, they're more like a jazz quartet, pet band quartet. So she's had band camp. Bo, you've had anything interesting the last couple of weeks?
Not really. Mostly it's the continuous cycle of work, miss fun things because of work, and just dad.
Yep.
Adult life. It's fun.
What about you, Kev? What you been up to?
I'm going to echo what Bo said, minus the child. It's pretty much just been work and, spending time with the girlfriend and trying to make the best of weekends and trying to catch up on series and things that we've already discussed, that we're going to be hitting on, things like that. So, yeah, the good old boring adult life of sitting on your couch in the evening and then watching something until you fall asleep, and then Netflix just keeps playing, and then you got to figure out where you fell asleep at and then go back and catch back up to it. That kind of thing. Yeah,
we know that life during the week.
Very much.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, making the best of your weekend with you and Becca. They came up to see us yesterday, and we really enjoyed seeing you guys. Unfortunately, we were a little swamped, which we'll get to in a minute. We've been trying to see Kevin for the last couple of weeks. He's been wanting to come up, and he brought me from Pensacon. He found this vendor down there that takes these old wine bottles and makes art on them and puts some LED lights inside of there that light up. It's gorgeous. And he knows I'm a big fan of Jessica Rabbit. So he came up and brought that. And man, I really appreciate that. That thing is beautiful, especially when it's lit up.
Yeah, the artwork on it's fantastic.
It's fantastically beautiful. We'll share a picture of it on our Bama Geeks social media, which, speaking of, at Bama Geeks, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Make sure you look us up, join in the conversation. We enjoyed that. If you want to email us, bamageeks@gmail.com. There's the early plug before we get to the spoiler stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, we were talk about life happening and just adulting. We've been having to do some work on our house. Thankfully, Jess has a couple of family members that have been over helping us. Just needed some repair work. And so Kevin had been trying to come up here for the last couple of weeks, been excited to see him. Then all of a sudden Thursday, some house repairs popped up, and poor Kevin and Becca showed up yesterday, and I couldn't even hug them because I'm so nasty and sweaty from working outside in that Alabama humid heat.
Yeah, these things couldn't have happened in like November, October, November. No, it has to happen in July.
Yeah,
things that have to be done.
Yeah, so some repairs got made, and we had to make a repair today. Oh, we had a nasty surprise this morning after Jess and I got back from church. We're trying to clean up boxes. We're about to go across the state to pick up the kids.
Can we play a guessing game to find out what appliance broke?
Oh, right. It wasn't an appliance.
No.
Oh, no appliances. Okay.
It was not an appliance breaking. No.
This is more exciting than an appliance.
Oh, okay.
I don't know about exciting, anxiety causing.
I like it.
Oh, of course you do. But
sort of.
So we've got these boxes that have been sitting by our back door, and we need to throw them away. So this morning, we're about to go drive across the state to go get the kids after we get back from church, and I picked up the box to go carry it to Jess's car. We're going to toss them away tomorrow. And I get outside and I look at the box, and on the back corner of this box is something that was not there.
Right.
When the box was initially put there. There's a snake skin hanging off the backside of this box that's been sitting inside the house.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
And so, yeah.
I'm glad you think so. I'm so glad you feel that way.
So I look
My reaction too.
I look at Jess and I'm like, Jess, and her dad and her uncle are out there looking at it and they're like, oh, so we peeled the skin off. That skin is still damp. Mm-hmm. This skin is fresh. Like this morning, fresh. We looked down, was unaware there is a small hole where the back door closes. Mm-hmm. And it's just filled up now. I promise you that. But laying across the width of the back door is another 2-foot piece of snake skin, freshly peeled. Yeah, that we picked it up, took it outside. It's still very flexible. Yeah, it's fresh. So if I scream during this podcast episode, it is because this nope rope, we don't know where it is. We don't know if it's outside. Now the skin looked like it crawled up in the hole, and it looks like it was going back outside maybe to get some sun or whatever to dry off from where he shed his skin. I hope that's the case.
I hope that's the case.
But we found a small hole in the outside of the back door that we were not aware was there. Mm-hmm. That's been filled up and closed. On the inside, it's been filled up and closed. I hope for our sakes tonight that this snake is somewhere outside and living the good life and not in our house. But the snake skin, her dad, he loves to look up this type of stuff. So we think it's a small green snake. So not harmful. We think.
Yeah, but I don't, here's the question. Is there or is there not a snake in the Parker household right now?
Yeah, we have no idea.
And
we can't answer that.
Possibly, hopefully one that wasn't nesting in there too.
Dude. Ooh. Thanks for that. Okay. Yeah, thanks.
Just to be clear, guys, the snake has a name. His name is Tom. I don't think they told you that.
This snake does not have a name.
He does have a name. His name is Tom in honor of Tom Riddle.
Was someone a snake being named Tom? I didn't go to Harry Potter. That goes to another part of my fandom.
What? No, listen, we can't dive into this tonight.
We're not touching that. No. If y'all want to know about that, listen to the Frog Brothers podcast with Craig Goldberg as he talks about. Never mind.
That was a great podcast.
It's Tom Riddle. Yeah. I'm with Alyssa. It's Tom Riddle.
That's right.
Riddle.
Yeah. Yes. But the Frog Brothers did a podcast with Craig Goldberg from Yes Have Some Podcast, my friend, and y'all just go down that path. Not here.
She can name it Tom all she wants to. My name for it is Satan's hand puppet.
Okay. Mine is evicted if I find him. But I've
just Brock, promise me you won't kill it with fire.
I'm not going to kill him. We're going to relocate him outside because if he's a green snake, he's friendly, no problem. Mm-hmm. But I'm petrified of snakes, venomous or not. And we will relocate him outside if we find him. I have been on my hands and knees looking under the couch, in the cabinets, under the beds. I've scoured this house trying to find this thing. Can't find it. So I'm assuming it's outside or at least back under the house. And now that hole is I'm looking at the hole right now. It is full. It is we fixed it, closed it up. It's good. So
whoa. So you're deathly afraid of this, snakes, but you were on your hands and knees trying to find it.
Well,
from a distance.
What would have happened if you'd have found it?
I didn't get close. I was just looking under with a flashlight from about a foot away. I'm like, no, I'm not getting close.
A lot of human society's ideas have all been done like that. They're all looking for something, then they find it, then they freak out.
Yeah.
Look, we were talking. Brock's like, I don't know if I need to sit here at this computer and do this podcast tonight. I am very, very leery.
Let me tell you, I am wearing my shoes for a reason right now. I am wearing my full shoes and my shorts, and so I'm good. If I jump up, I'm running. If I see this thing, I'm running. But I've checked everywhere. I can't find it.
I'll come get him for you, Dad.
I was about to say, just call Alyssa. She'll come get it.
Yeah, she's into these things.
She's happy about it. She's actually happy about this.
Oh, she got excited.
No. I love snakes. I love animals so much, but I like to know where they are when they've disappeared. Like right now, I'm a little bit antsy just because I don't like random things crawling on me, but.
Well, since you're back in the back of the house as we do this,
you keep an eye out back there. Okay?
Keep an eye on the floor, especially since you're like in our bedroom. I told Jess on the way to get the kids, I'm like, do we need to go to a hotel tonight? Kid you not. I was ready to go check into Holiday Inn or something.
Those things that you've seen like on social media when they talk about the spider being in the house and the house being on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of had that, mental picture running through my head today too. Just kill it with fire.
And I know if it's a green snake, I sound like a complete pansy, and that's okay. That's okay.
So
you guys will be all right.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. It's not going to do anything.
Oh,
it better not.
Yeah.
Except murder you guys in your sleep. I'm just kidding.
See, I'm trying
to. I was trying to make it better, Alyssa. Wow.
You got to understand, she's got my weird sense of humor too.
Excuse me.
Is there the old home remedy of putting mothballs around your house?
Well,
trust me, that's
snakes.
coming.
That's what they said.
Yeah, we discussed that. We were just in, by the time we had made this discovery, we had to get on we were like 10 minutes away from trying to get on the road to go get them. And then coming back home, there was only that limited window to try to get back home, get settled in for this tonight. So, yeah.
So, first issue when we got back to the house was take care of that hole. It's fixed. Yeah. It's all filled back in. So it's, yeah. The snake does not need to murder me in my sleep because I'm trying to make it to 45, which is just a few hours away.
That's right.
It is.
I'm trying to make it to the birthday.
That's right.
So
a green snake is not going to murder you in your sleep.
I don't want to wake up and have a heart attack,
they found out that it's the wrong type of snake.
Well, what is it? There was always that fancy statistic. The chances, are very low, but never zero.
Never zero.
Never zero. My chance of having a heart attack if that thing wakes me up,
highly
100%.
Not 100,
10,000%.
Not 100, but it ain't far off.
Well, I mean, you guys are a source of warmth, so. I mean, but then again, there is no shortage of warmth around right now. So it's not like snakes are like
that or water
leaking you out. Yeah,
the water. Oh my god.
Well, I'm trying to make it better, and you're over here.
Plenty of water outside. Snake can have that water.
Put him a bowl of water outside.
Yeah. Here you go, Roscoe.
This is for the snake. No one else eat this.
I mean,
drink this.
I try not to, I try to consider our blessings and the fact that we're not in the middle of a drought, but I would like for the rain just to please stop. Just can you give us a couple of days, please?
Yeah, you guys have to stop blessing the rains. Okay.
Yeah. This ain't Africa. Oh man. Yeah. I feel horrible for our friends out west. The western half of the U.S., especially out around California and everything, they're just in such severe drought and wildfires and stuff. And we really hope the best for you guys. But here in Alabama, it's rained for 3 weeks straight every day. Downpours. Tired of it.
Which, I mean, honestly, in Alabama, it's pretty typical this time of year to have 20% chance of rain every single day.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been like we've been hitting the 20% mark. I mean, I feel like Alabama should go buy lottery tickets.
Yeah.
At this point, because it's like we're just like every day, bam, 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 every day.
I'm convinced that it knows my schedule of when I am about to either walk outside from work or I need to leave work and I need to go to the store, and there's this getting in and out of the car and going in and out of buildings. It's like, are you watching me? You must have a timer set on my schedule to know when I'm venturing outside to do something that you come a torrential downpour.
Yeah. It's like Florida. When you go to Disney World in the middle of the summer, you're going to get about 4 or 5 o'clock every day, just a quick rain shower downpour. It's going to happen. And this month, these last 2 or 3 weeks have been like that here in Alabama. In some parts. Here in central Alabama, it is.
Well, it's got to rain to stay humid, man. I mean, it's just, yeah. And to anyone not exposed that has never been to Alabama this time of year, it is oppressively humid right now. It's very hot and it's oppressively humid. You would think that we're supposed to be a temperate zone, but it's like we're like subtropical temperate.
Yeah.
It's really strange because you get this time of year and it is just oppressively humid. So much so that, now when I ask Google, what's the temperature going to be? They're like, but because of the humidity, it's going to be this.
Like a dew point of 97, something like that. Lately, it's ridiculous. Humidity is off the charts.
Yeah, that between that and the mosquitoes.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just
mosquitoes love humidity.
I was just outside a few minutes ago, and I came back in and just itching all over my legs. So yeah,
I took my dog out before this for 45 seconds. Was outside for 45 seconds. Got bit twice.
Yeah.
I was like, those guys just wait by the door for me.
Oh, they do me too.
Same.
Oh, we knew this was going to be a pretty banter episode. I think we're off on the right track today.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, guys. But hey, let's get to some meat and potatoes.
Well, hey, meat and potatoes. All right.
Stuff.
Ooh, now I'm hungry.
Ooh, meat and taters.
I had some good potatoes last night. We went to a place called Jubilee Joe's down in Hoover. It's the first time we'd eaten there. And when we were in Myrtle Beach, I didn't get a chance to eat any fried gator. So this place has it, and man, it's good. Highly recommend.
Jubilee Joe's is really good.
Yeah, I was impressed. I had crab bisque, cheddar mashed potatoes, and then fried alligator. Hey. It's really good.
Yeah. Little early birthday treat for him.
If we're talking about food, I want to plug a nice place in Chelsea that just opened up not too long ago. It's called Chicken Fried, and these guys are absolutely amazing. It's kind of like a cross between Chick-fil-A and Zaxby's. Really good, simple menu. And the reason that I'm mentioning these guys is they have deep fried Oreos on the regular menu. You can get them anytime you want. And if you guys know anything about Southerners, we love everything deep fried. Okay.
Amen. Amen.
Oh yeah. So they have deep fried Oreos. If you guys have never tried deep fried Oreos, you're missing out. It's an Oreo that's deep fried in pancake batter. And it's like, it makes it like twice as thick, and it just screams diabetes. Oh. It's just amazing.
Well, that's Southern food in general.
There we go.
I got Brock to try stuffed jalapeno peppers did in the air fryer the other night. It's the first time he's ever eaten a jalapeno pepper.
They were good. They were not, well, the first one wasn't that spicy, but the second one kind of lit me. I was like, got to buy it.
More of a initial heat or afterburn heat for you?
Afterburn.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just sat there and ate the rest of them, just pop one. I love it.
Yeah, I typically don't eat peppers at all for any reason whatsoever. But these, I was like, okay, I'll give them a try because of the cream cheese, bacon, cheese, or regular cheese.
The jalapeno peppers, they were stuffed with you take cream cheese and shredded cheese and garlic and onion powder and kind of mix it together, stuff it inside the pepper, wrap some bacon around it, pop it in that air fryer. Serve some fantastic goodness there.
Yep.
And I fried some green tomatoes here not too long ago. So.
When?
Yeah.
You missed out.
Those are my favorites.
And they were all mine because your dad don't like no fried green tomatoes.
I don't like tomatoes.
Guys, I just ate and you're making me hungry again.
I was going to say, we turned into the Guy Fieri edition of the Bama Geeks podcast. I mean,
this is it's like a front porch more than a podcast. We've talked weather now. Food.
This episode of Bama Geeks is brought to you from our front porch.
Yes, we're going to spend 30 minutes trying to tell each other bye before
That's right.
we get off.
That's what this is. This is just one big Southern goodbye right now.
That's right.
Right?
But it's a hello, which is funny.
I mean, we are talking about Loki, so it's like we're starting the end of the podcast first or something.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, exactly.
So that's our front porch sitting in a rocking chair banter like we Southerners like to do. Just catching up with everybody, seeing how everybody's doing. And, this past week has been really hectic for us geeks that love to collect toys, that love the nostalgia, the feeling of that really waste of money plastic and space. San Diego Comic-Con, all their stuff has been happening this week virtually. And so a lot of the toy companies, Hasbro, Mattel, Mondo, Super 7, man, they had a lot of toy reveals this week. I have no desire to recap everything because so much was released, but I want to get everybody's thoughts on what are some things that maybe you picked up. What caught your eye? Did you pre-order anything?
I'll go out the gate. Like I said, I fell down recently into the rabbit hole of collecting wrestling figures based on, like, of course, our athletic theater enthusiasm.
I wonder why you have a love to collect those things.
Yes. Also, it made me think, if y'all think of another name for the snake, Damien would be a good choice.
Would you stop?
That's been my rabbit hole. They announced a lot of cool ones. Like, they've announced, like, I want to say it was the late 90s, early 2000s version of The Undertaker, the Ministry version, which is probably my favorite version of the Dead Man.
I did see that.
That's one thing I'm looking for. But they're also, like, apparently Mattel, WWE, or whoever, they're doing the like a Hollywood line where they're taking their wrestlers who are characters. Like, they're doing a figure of Roddy Piper. I'm trying to think. I haven't watched They Live in Forever, but his character's name is Nada. I don't know if that's the pronunciation for it or not. But they're doing his character, sunglasses and all.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
they're doing that. Also, but they're doing obscure stuff like the Sasquatch that was Andre the Giant from the $6 million Man.
Yes, I saw that.
Like, they went for the obscure, which I was very happy with that. I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up, but I thought that was kind of cool to see.
Oh, wow.
And then for my other thing, my continuing the NECA Turtles, for those who didn't get April the first go around, they're going to do a 2-pack with Casey and April
from the movie. Did they ever release pictures of that? Because I know it popped up on Walmart and only in the description. The description said it was a 1/4 scale Raphael from the 1990 movie, but then at the bottom, the listing itself was an April Casey 2-pack. And then at the bottom of the description mentioned an April Casey 2-pack, but in the middle was like a 1/4 scale Raph.
Yeah, let me pull that up. Let me look real quick.
I don't know if they ever released the picture. I know it sold out, and I guess to be honest here, with wife sitting just a few feet from me, I did snag that pre-order off Walmart because I'm like, if this is another April figure, of course I'm going to get it.
I'd like to say that I'm shocked, but I'm not shocked.
She's not.
I am not shocked.
So
at all.
Instead of like a San Diego Comic-Con reveal, this is more like a Brock confession time in front of Jess.
It just is what it is, and that's all I'm gonna say. Boxes just show up, and
and show up and get a snake skin on the side of it. So hey, you never know what you're gonna get, right, Forrest?
Oh, we just keep talking about it.
So this continues on. Like, the thing about, like, seeing all these cool, like, a lot of these cool exclusives, of course, are going to be Walmart. And I know I gripe about them, but here's the thing, Walmart, if you're going to keep doing this exclusive toy game, like, do like Target or some of these other retailers that have a specific area rather than just stuck in your electronics department or where they decide to stock it in the actual toys. Like, I don't know. I mean, I understand working for Walmart is not fun, and you deal with people, because I've worked in retail. I worked in retail. I've dealt with people in retail. I still think everyone in the world should work about a year or two in retail, and the world would be a better place. But at the same time, I'm like, if you're going to do this, either get some associates who are, at least aware of what's going on, or that. But sorry.
Look, I'm not the one who went on the Walmart rant this time.
Well, this is stemming from I'm in month 6 or 7 now of being able to find it and able to find stuff they're supposed to have.
Right.
Sir, we are also in that same month searching for you. I honestly, I think we still check whenever we go to Walmart, but for a couple of months there, we made a conscious effort to hit every Walmart we could specifically to help you out. And
it was like now I haven't even gone and looked. Like, I've got so
just resigned to the fact it's just not happening.
Yeah, it'll come back out. NECA has been really good at surprising people with re-releases. Like, there's several re-releases that nobody expected that they pop back out with. But did you pre-order any of your wrestling figures?
No, I've been real bad. Like, it's like I said, of course it's middle of the month, so a bunch of bills have hit me here. I'm trying to make sure I got to do the adult thing and then buy stuff.
You mean you have to pay bills?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Imagine being an adult and actually having to pay bills.
Well, you have to imagine, because you're not one yet.
I was going to say, who do you think you're talking to?
No, I feel so
I'm
bad
sitting
for
here.
y'all.
I'm sitting here recording this, and I have my bill spreadsheet open in the other monitor.
You're making a mockery of your fun time, sir.
I'm very thankful for the last few years I have left before paying.
Yes.
It's not that bad.
So anyway,
yeah. So.
I tried to.
We are all over the map tonight.
We are,
and that's the way it should be some nights. So sometimes.
Well, the thing I was literally over talking to Brock, and Brock was like, "I don't have anything planned. I don't know what we're just probably just going to talk."
Yeah.
So we're basically doing exactly what Brock was saying.
Yeah,
that's it.
Talking.
I missed out on the red and yellow Hulk Hogan off Amazon. I was going to try to snag that Ultimate and totally missed it. It was sold out by the time I got to it. I did, and this is just speaking of the regular wrestling figures, I was able to snag when on Mattel Creations their version, the large version of Sergeant Slaughter.
Oh, nice! That's going to be a really good figure.
Like the old LJN / GI Joe looking figure of him. I was able to snag that. Very surprised I got him.
What you could do, since you want, they announced him. I know for their Elite Edition, they're doing the 2005 Hulk Hogan, where he took on Mr. Shawn Michaels, which I know that would be a good combo pack to get for your household.
We've got the Shawn Michaels Elite figure, you know, for some little lady sitting over here.
Gee, I wonder who that could be. Definitely is not Alyssa.
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, did you snag any pre-orders whatsoever, Bo?
Nope.
You
understand. You understand. This is, like I said, I miss everything because everything that requires me to be at a computer happens when I'm at work, and my work's kind of I'm in manufacturing, so like I get to look at my phone and on my breaks, and that's about ever so often. So that's how out of it. But yeah, that's I'll get something. I'll get it one way or another eventually.
We need to jump in on that crowdfunding Mattel's got with that WWE ring right now.
Oh yeah, the retro Raw ring.
That really it looks cool, and the fact they made it so much like a real wrestling ring. I mean, it's got wooden slats under the mat.
It looks so good, but also I'm also the purist, and I know because of the lawsuit with the pandas. I can't, like, I understand for like anything modern where they had it, but I would think for just the retro stuff, like just have the old icon. I can't do it with the new one. Or the repurposed one of the classic stuff.
It
just doesn't look right.
Had the same conversation with Brock.
Yep.
Same exact conversation.
Essentially for this, Alyssa, for years, they were the World Wrestling Federation, WWF. Well, they had the World Wildlife Fund. And there for years, they skirted on, not getting kind of in trouble with them. Then they had they had a lawsuit, and then the World Wildlife Fund lost. So therefore, they dropped the
WWF, the World Wrestling Federation lost.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. They lost to the pandas. And so they dropped the F and included the E. So the World Wrestling Entertainment now instead of Federation.
And that's been almost 20 years now, almost. That's crazy to think.
20 years.
Almost.
Here I am just like literally trying to picture Panda sitting in court.
Oh, man. Let's, are we going to?
No, we're not venturing down the panda path.
Okay.
I love pandas.
It's an inside Ghostbusters community.
So do I.
You guys are the ones running it there. Just don't.
But yeah, like there was so that was a whole interesting thing. It was a wild time. But yeah, like that's my only thing. Like a lot, and I want to say they can still like air stuff with that. Like there for a while, it was the point they had to blur out the logo. They would anytime they would use the say WWF, it would be muted. But then they finally now they're like, the retro stuff we're not going to worry about. I think they're not going to, because I mean everyone knows it now by what it was,
right?
And what it is. So it's just weird for me to see like old stuff rebranded with the updated WWE logo.
Yeah, I'm just that's the only thing I have is the problem with it, like we talked about. And I told Brock, I said, I know that you can't, even if they had the WWE, but it's still, that's not the retro part of this whole situation. So it doesn't work with that either. But overall, I mean, it looks great. That's just my only hang up with it too.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody will make a sticker that we can purchase and repurpose. That might be a reason.
Somebody will. But it's got the entranceway. That's got the LED lights on it, the old school entranceway, and then, like I said, it's got the wooden slats. Like they're little miniature 2x4s.
Yeah.
That make up. I mean, the ring is built like an actual full size ring. It's really cool, but cool. I don't think I could plunk down $250 for it.
Yeah.
And I honestly wish they would have chosen someone else other than Diesel. But
Doink is a stretch goal.
Yeah. I have heard that too.
Well, they've shown.
Well, it's mostly now that they've entered the whole thing. Like they've got to have like a lot of the legends have like a legends deal where like they can use their likeness. That's the kind of the other thing. So it's got to you got to make the performer make money, and the company's got to make money on top of Mattel. So that's that whole thing. Everybody got to get their piece.
Speaking of Walmart, they did release like Masters of the Universe, the WWE figures. They did release another set of those, and I jumped on there trying to get the Sergeant Slaughter WWE figure, but it was too late because we were preoccupied yesterday, so I missed it. But that's okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's all right though. I'll find them in stores. I've been very fortunate to find a lot of the WWE Masters of the Universe figures in the stores.
And as predicted, we are seeing some new Ghostbusters stuff roll out.
Oh yeah.
Yep. The $15 Hasbro Proton Pack is finding found its way online. I don't know if it's in stores. I know the Proton Wand, and these are all the smaller for the kids. Role play items that really
look really cool.
They look good for $15. I mean, they're really you could probably have a lot of fun modifying those, especially for your kids or short wives like mine. But they look good. They're just like the old Kenner Real Ghostbusters packs that we had back in the day. Except that they're selling the pack shell by itself. They're selling the Proton one by itself. There's a ghost whistle. Type thing. It's kind of like Bank Maniac on Instagram. If you go look him up, he got one of the ghost whistles before Walmart yanked him off the website, but they actually delivered it to him. And it's more or less you choose. It's got a dial on it. You choose what ghost you want it to mimic, and then you stand there and like yell at it. Like a possum yells at its own self. And it's, just and it'll react with a ghost sound.
Okay. Now, I wonder if this is something that's going to be an afterlife, or this is just something like one of those zany toys they're going to put out. That's curious.
I don't know, but I really like it. I'm going to wind up collecting all these kids' roleplay toys just because they're cool.
Well, they're
look cheap, but they look good. They're inexpensive, and I won't even get into some of the butthurt comments you see from from fanboys online. Oh my gosh, this looks like it's $15 and it's made for kids. What do you want?
Exactly.
Do you mean to tell me there are disappointed Ghostbuster fans out there?
Never. Never.
Again, another rabbit hole. Another rabbit hole we can't venture down.
There's negativity on the internet.
What?
That's insane.
Yeah.
Kevin, did you do any pre-orders for San Diego Comic-Con or?
So my exposure to San Diego Comic-Con's pre-orders was as soon as you mentioned we were going to do San Diego Comic-Con pre-order reviews, I went and looked at all the pre-orders that were out there.
So tonight.
So yes, tonight. So the answer to your question is a resounding no. Okay, I did not do any purchases. However, it does look like there are a lot of really cool things out this year. And I'll be looking forward to possibly seeing some of those things in your household and possibly Bo's household. That would be really cool.
Well, you definitely can come over when all my stuff starts coming in, because I did sit there and scour while the sales were going on. I did wind up getting, like I said, I got the Sergeant Slaughter from Mattel Creations, because the packaging is like the old LJN, those rubber figures, the very first wrestling figures that they ever came out with. The packaging looks like that, and it's Sergeant Slaughter. I love Sergeant Slaughter, so I got that figure. And the other thing I got from Mattel Creations was the Masters of the Universe Revelations Scare Glow, the exclusive for there. And hitting back on Walmart, I was really surprised. I was able to, they released like the G.I. Joe retro figures. 2 of those figures, Stalker and Cobra Trooper, Jess had already found for me like a month ago in the stores. So she grabbed those 2 for me. And they had 2 more, and off the top of my head, I can't remember their names. I know one was Cobra Officer. The other one, I cannot remember. And I'm not looking it up right now, but was able to get those 2 figures. And they also released the Cobra Hiss Tank 3. And I was able to snag that. And that actually showed up from Walmart today on a Sunday. Wow. We got home from church and it's sitting there and I'm like, whoa. And so open it up and it's a new Cobra Hiss Tank with the Rip It figure, the Cobra driver. So I've got that I'm going to put together soon, because I do open most of my toys, because
blasphemy.
Some I do, some I don't. The Scare Glow from Mattel I probably won't open, because he's a cool looking figure and I read where he's going to be available without the exclusive packaging and stuff. He's going to be a wide release. May get him. I only got him. I'm not collecting the Motu Revelations figures, but he was so cool looking, and I knew it was an exclusive through San Diego Comic-Con, so I grabbed him and was able to. But the G.I. Joe figures from Walmart I grabbed, and then Target's releasing some carbonized Star Wars figures next year.
Ooh.
But they put them up for pre-order, and I am totally blanking on which figures they are. A couple of troopers, and then I think one of the Mandos from Mandalorian. Those went up, and I was able to grab those, and thankfully they won't take the money out for that until next year. So that's the only reason I got away with it. I'm looking really quickly for which ones.
While you're thinking, I thought about there's something one more else I think I need to pre-order. I just realized it, but they're doing the Pixar Spotlight series. They're doing one of Kevin the bird from Up.
Yeah, that's right.
That.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
Up is a very, very enjoyed movie in our household. Even though we're all in tears in the first 5 minutes, like every human being.
Oh my gosh, same.
Unless you have a soul.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think I may need to get that just because it's my namesake.
Yeah, exactly.
Look on my if it's still up, look on mattelcreations.com. That was one of the figures that was not selling like hotcakes, so it may still be up.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is,
as of right now. But the 3 figures from Target that you could get, the Carbonized collection, the Shore Trooper, and then Paz Vizsla, and a Scout Trooper. So grab those, and those will be out next year, which is nice. I think next May, I believe. And I don't think anything else from Target. I don't think I got anything else from Target. But the big one that I did pre-order and am so happy I was able to snag it is the NECA Turtles. What was the accessory? This is so bad. I do zero show prep, apparently. It's the Catwoman from Channel 6. It's April as the Catwoman, and Irma's there, and Vernon, and then the boss, whose name I can't remember at the moment. But Burn, something like that. Yeah. So it's a 4-pack of those, but it's also got, and the reason I got it was because it's April, not regular April. It's a Catwoman April. They didn't include they didn't include, and a lot of people are complaining about this online. They did not include like a regular human head for her, but it wouldn't match the rest of the body because she's got her claws and she's got darker fur skin. Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't have matched. So why put a human head on that?
Yeah.
So that accessory set is phenomenal. It comes with like 2 studio television cameras, lights, the whole shebang. Nice. Like the background you can display it against is the newsroom set. Me being a former TV reporter, I'm like, gotta have it. Have to have that set. So thankfully, NECA's website kind of off and on again as far as functionality. And so it took a little bit longer for those to sell out, but it also came with an accessory kit of like a press badge and then a poster that like an 11x17 poster of the news building and a couple of other things. Like I said, I'm horrible at show prep.
Was there a t-shirt in that pack too?
Yes, there was a t-shirt, and I accidentally got the large.
Oh, guess who's getting the t-shirt?
Exactly.
I reap some benefit out of it. I mean, I love the figures too. And, him collecting is just the same as me collecting. Same collective household.
And I think it came with a patch, Channel 6 patch, I think. I think that's what it came with. Could be mistaken. I'm not doing show prep. I'm not looking at that. So, but yeah.
It's not really prep if we're already.
Look, Missy.
I love you.
I love you too. No, you're absolutely correct. Yeah, it's been a day. It's been a snaky day.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So, yeah. I think those are the only things I grabbed for the SDCC exclusives. I didn't want to go too far into territory with that. I'm doing one last look. No, those are the only things I got. So I didn't put us too far into the hole.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say, Brock, when you get to the point where you can't remember what you bought,
But here's
might have a problem.
Here's where you're mistaken. I don't remember what I say 2 hours ago.
Well, this is true.
That's facts.
Yeah. Exactly.
So like a puppy, every day is the first day.
Exactly. I get up every morning and chase my tail because I don't know what it is. You know,
he's just lucky he has me for certain situations to
it's
be
amazing.
his memory.
It's amazing.
And me to remind him of the random things he said 13 years ago that he definitely does not remember.
Yeah. There's my claim to fame. It's, man, your memory's bad. Yes, it is. On a lot of things, it is bad. I can remember a lot of things, but short-term memory is not my strong suit these days. So anyway, we spent an awful lot of time on the toys, and those going to be trickling in over the next few months, which will be great. Hopefully by then we'll have better storage space at the house.
Fingers crossed.
What's that?
Fingers crossed.
Oh, yes. Yep. So anyway, we brought up talking about some of the Masters of the Universe figures and stuff that were released, specifically the Scareglow, which is from Masters of the Universe Revelations, which just premiered this past week on Netflix. Kevin's watched the first episode. I watched them all, both seen the trailer. Not going to spoil anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to do a quick hit on this. The animation style, I'm not really one for animated shows these days. As I've gotten older, it's hard for me to sit down. I've tried to start watching the Clone Wars and got to the first couple of episodes, and it was like, I'm going to power through it. I'm eventually going to get through the Clone Wars. But I just can't, for some reason, my brain doesn't do well with animated shows. That being said, like when Into the Spider-Verse came out with Spider-Man, mm-hmm. the animation took me a moment because it was kind of a herky-jerky type of animation. It wasn't fluid, and that was kind of bugging me. But then after you get into a few minutes of that movie, the way that the story went, the story took over everything, and I fell in love with that movie.
Yeah.
Same thing for me for Masters of the Universe Revelation. The animation is not the smoothest. It's more of kind of an anime type feel to it, but it's so beautifully done. And the story was very good, in my opinion. And this is only part 1. They've only got 5 episodes out right now. Apparently there's going to be a part 2.
Mm-hmm.
And they set up part 2 beautifully. I'm excited about part 2 because it's good.
Yeah. just because of how they've set it up. No spoilers.
Yeah. Yeah. But the voice actors they got for this. I'm not familiar with the guy who does He-Man, Prince Adam. Not familiar with him. But like Teela is Sarah Michelle Gellar. Yes, all day. Alan Oppenheimer, who is the original Skeletor, he's in there as Moss Man, which is really cool. Skeletor, of course, the legendary man himself, Mark Hamill.
Perfect.
Whoop, whoop.
Yep. And Cringer is Stephen Root, Milton from Office Space, Jimmy James from News Radio.
I love Stephen Root.
Yeah. So he's in there as Cringer. He's really good. Cringer is a good character.
Don't forget about, Bill, King of the Hill. He's legendary actor, voice actor. Fantastic guy.
I did not realize he was in it, but Kevin Conroy, Batman. He was, Jess, help me.
He was Merman, wasn't he?
He was Merman. Yeah. I'm like, when Merman popped on the screen, I'm like, that voice is familiar. And then in the after show episode that they did on Netflix, talking to all the voice actors, it's Kevin Conroy. He's like, they stuck me with some guy named Mark Hamill. He's got some
never done anything with him before.
Yeah, who's this guy?
Yeah, it's only Batman and the Joker from Batman the Animated Series. So absolutely fantastic voice cast.
Oh, you also need to talk about Man at Arms too.
How did I forget Man at Arms? Oh my goodness!
I'm your memory. I help you with these things. I'm helping to guide you along.
You're witnessing this in real time.
Merman. I mean, not Merman.
He was
blank.
Yeah, he was Duncan. Man at Arms. It is. Before we jump to him. Lena Headey.
Yes.
Who is Cersei from Game of Thrones. I bring her up first. She's Evelyn. I bring her up first because also from Game of Thrones is Liam Cunningham doing Duncan, Man at Arms.
Mm-hmm.
He is Sir Davos, my number one character on Game of Thrones. Sir Davos. I'd follow that man into battle, and he'd probably tell me not to.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. That was the only Game of Thrones pop that you got, right?
Yes.
Yes.
If we buy a Funko Pop, it's got to be something we really love, like the Inspector Gadget stuff was, I think, the most recent. Of course, we're buying select figures of The Office, the main cast, but we really don't do Funko Pops anymore. And the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones was so bad that I've given up on that show completely. But the only pop I bought from Game of Thrones was Sir Davos. That man, I can listen to him all day.
Yes.
I love him.
Okay, back up a second.
Yeah.
Specifically, season 8 was horrible.
I didn't like season 7 either.
Season 7, I think it was still pretty good. So season 8 is when the showrunners just decided, we're done. We want to go and do Star Wars. And then they wound up not doing Star Wars. So
probably because of season 8.
Probably because of season 8, exactly.
Yeah. But Sir Davos, Liam Cunningham as Man at Arms, Duncan. I'll sit down and listen to that man read whatever boring pill bottle prescription all day.
Well, and I was the silly person that Brock had to correct when I mentioned. I was like, and it was awesome that they cast Liam Neeson to do that voice. And he was like, that's not Liam Neeson. That's Sir Davos. And I was like, well, he sounds like Liam Neeson.
His name's Liam.
I guess it's a Liam thing, I guess.
I guess so.
Skeletor,
yeah. I'm sitting here looking on IMDb.
And I will kill you.
Sitting looking at IMDb, and I see there's one voice actor I know of. I'm very curious is Kevin Michael Richardson being Beastman. He was the version of Shredder in the last 2012 Turtles, and he was really good. So I'm curious as Beastman. And I also see that Henry Rollins is Triclops.
Oh yes.
That's incredible.
Yes, he is so good. Triclops has a pretty good role in the show so far. And I didn't realize that was Henry Rollins till they did the after show, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's done a lot of voice acting here recently. Like I know he was in the Legend of Korra Avatar series, and he did a really good job in that little bit of there. So but he's got is it like when you know it, you're like, that's Henry Rollins instantly as soon as you hear him talk?
Yeah. Once I learned it was Henry Rollins, I'm like, well, no wonder this Triclops sounds so good. Yeah. And then Jason Mewes was also Stinkor.
Well, of course, Jason Mewes is going to be. Of course, he's going to be tied into this too,
because Kevin Smith's doing it. Stinkor was great. Stinkor, he was not into the whole lot, but granted, there are only 5 episodes. They're less than 30 minutes apiece.
Yeah.
But Stinkor, I think Jason Mewes was the perfect person to pull off that part because he's funny.
Oh yeah.
You still have that cast list pull up there, Bo?
Yes.
Check out Trap Jaw.
Let's see. Let me pull it down. It's got the even better. One of there's 2 Batman in this show now. I see.
Yep.
There's a lot of good familiarities. Like I said, I'm kind of like we were talking before we started recording. He-Man's one of those things like I liked it for a little bit as a kid, but I think like Turtles and Ghostbusters kind of like pushed it to the side, so it didn't really stick with me. But now, I guess I just look at the voice cast list. I may have to.
And they're 25-minute episodes, like you said. They're really easy to get through.
Very easy to get through.
The thing that got me was the little preview I watched was how it was not shy to embrace the over cheesy.
Right.
It seemed like
yes,
and that's okay. I mean, that's good.
Well, okay, and I've, like Brock mentioned, I've seen the first episode, and I marveled at the fact that everything in there, at least in the first episode, they have this thing that happens, and you see all the vehicles and stuff that they're in, and I'm looking at it going, that's an action figure, that's an action figure vehicle, that's an action figure vehicle, and I'm looking at this, and it's like, this is all perfect Mattel marketing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's beautiful.
Well, see, that's the beauty of now that we have, like, our generation now is making TV shows and producing stuff. We're like, hey, this thing I obsessed with for, years and years ago as a kid. Now I can put it in the show I love. That's, say what you will about reboots and rehashes, but hey, that's, allows people to get their dreams come true.
But look, one of the bad guys, and I forget, I'm sure he was a notable character, but I will admit that He-Man wasn't that big for me when I was a kid. So I'm like, one of these guys was riding around in this vehicle that has like this big hammer thing on it. That's like like a club. And he just like slams it down onto He-Man. And I'm like, this is like I'm back being a kid again.
Mm-hmm.
I could so imagine like having the vehicle with the character in it, with He-Man. Well, in my case, it would probably be like a Ninja Turtle or something, but like slamming it down onto the character and then acting all of it out. When I was watching the first episode, I was like, I kind of feel like a new generation could be exposed to what we did with playing with toys from this.
Yeah, and when they show, I mean, it was in the trailer. This is no surprise, but when they show Eternia, it looks just like the old Eternia playset. It's right out of it, and naturally being He-Man, with Castle Grayskull, you're going to see Snake Mountain, and there is a feature in Snake Mountain, the playset that is evident in the that plays a role in the cartoon. And I was like, that's
cool.
Perfect.
That's cool.
I never had Castle Grayskull as a kid. We've talked in previous episodes. I have it now, thanks to Jess. But I had Snake Mountain. And I'm just hoping somewhere in this series that they're going to show Snake Mountain where you can take the wolf's head off of Snake Mountain and talk into it like a microphone. Just like the original toy. But yeah, the one little feature that they show for Snake Mountain, perfect to the toy.
Yeah.
So I'm not the world's biggest Kevin Smith fan because he's a little bit more, crude for my taste. But what he's done with this show, I'm all in. Looks good. I'm a fan. I know, again, internet outrage about the story. Just ignore them. It's a good show.
I didn't even know Kevin Smith was involved. What is it? He's the creator?
This is his show. He's the showrunner.
Really?
Yeah. He pitched this to Mattel and to Netflix. This is his baby.
Okay, now the reference to Jason Mewes now makes sense because I wasn't quite picking up on what you guys were talking about earlier.
Now you see,
yeah. Okay, that makes all the sense in the world.
Wonders means that he's going to try to get a pitch to get some of his famous, players from this stuff. Maybe he can sneak in Affleck or a couple other folks in there. Yeah.
Dante and Randall,
Which is funny is speaking to him, maybe think I'm sorry, this is not off track, but I had my feeling old moment of the day, but realized that this year Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, the movie, turned 20 years.
It's been that long?
Wow.
Yes. Sorry, I had that I've been listening to music in between, driving to work, and something from the soundtrack popped up, and I always like to look and be like, oh, hey, when did this come out? 20 years ago.
Snoochie Boochies?
Yes, exactly.
Alyssa, you're not allowed to watch
it. Well, and for a while there, I don't know what usurped it, but for a while there, that movie held the record for the most cursing in any movie ever made.
Not surprised.
Yeah, it held it for a little while before something else came along, and I don't know what it was surpassed it, but whatever it was had to have been really bad. Because there's a lot of it in that movie.
Tarantino, maybe something.
Maybe I'm not sure.
Maybe something Quentin Tarantino. Maybe.
Yeah, but Tarantino's movies are good.
I don't know.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I do. I derail the podcast. That's my.
That's all good.
Hey, this is a front porch banter episode.
That's right.
We're gonna have volume 1. This is the first of many, guaranteed.
Anyway, about the weather.
Yes.
You see that boy over there? Hope his father whooped him good. So, Mochi Revelations, check it out on Netflix. Can't recommend it enough.
Yeah.
Love the animation style, even though it's not my animation style. It's still good. The story's been good so far. Part 1 ends in a way that has never been done before.
Yeah.
It's good, and I'll leave it at that. In the Masters of the Universe realm. So while Jess and I were, I was watching Masters of the Universe, Kevin and Bo, they snuck in a movie that Jess and I probably will not see, and that is Space Jam, A New Legacy, something like that. Whatever.
Yeah, Space Jam, A New Legacy, yes.
Yeah, LeBron's turn to jam. I never saw the original one, and it was just that came out in '96. And I was in the middle of the Air Force getting ready to go overseas at that time. So I did not pay that close attention to it. And I just have never seen it. And it's not been on purpose. I just haven't gotten around to it. So I need to. But what did you guys think about Space Jam?
So going back, I saw the original because I'm not going to lie. I watched basketball. I love 90s basketball. To me, it's the peak of the NBA was that era there. So, I mean, that's just because that's, me looking through my glasses I watched when I was then, but that could be another whole topic. But either way, we saw it at there's a drive-in, about 45 minutes from where we live. And we went, and like I said, that's how we did it. So I need to go back, and we have HBO Max. So now that I've actually saw it at the theater, because I'm still very old school, like I want to see it at the theater first. I don't know. That's just me. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it overall. Let me just, I'll try to do my nutshell, and then we can probably add. To me, where the first movie was more about the Looney Tunes needing Jordan's help, this movie is more about LeBron needing the Tunes' help. They kind of help each other, but to me, the movie was more focused on LeBron, mm-hmm. and then they added the characters in. That's just me in general.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But overall, it really essentially, this movie is, first 10, 15 minutes was kind of because they were more doing the whole setup. Then once they got the Tunes involved, and then Warner Brothers was like, hey, look at all this cool stuff we own.
Yes.
Because essentially the base of this is, break it down, it's LeBron and his son, one of his youngest sons, he's big into video games rather than basketball, where LeBron wants him to be into basketball and apply himself. He's being that, that dad wants his prodigy son to do better than him, and more rather than letting his son be himself. Mm-hmm. He's kind of that. Then in turn, LeBron, let's say we're spoilers here if anybody wants spoilers. I didn't think about that, but for anybody listening, so we'll do a spoiler warning. But
there it is.
Spoiler warning.
Essentially, it winds down that Warner Brothers has an algorithm, which is played by Don Cheadle, which was another thing it brought me up, is all this world is where all these movies and stuff exist, but nobody thought to mention that maybe the algorithm looks like Don Cheadle. So I don't. But essentially, Don Cheadle is wanting to use LeBron's image. His character, his AI, wants to be the king, which is LeBron's nickname, mm-hmm. King James. He wants to be the big king of everything. Like everybody associates him with the greatness. And essentially, it kind of rolls into like the original Space Jam, where he's got to play a basketball game. If the algorithm wins, he owns LeBron James, and he can kind of pick and choose everything, or vice versa. LeBron James is playing for his freedom and his son's freedom, because essentially the algorithm has tricked his son to help him.
Okay.
Is that a good kind of a nutshell, kind of what's going on, Kev?
Yes. I think overall the one where, the original where we had Michael mm-hmm. Jordan, it was helped along by the fact that Michael Jordan was playing baseball when it came out.
Yeah.
He was still in baseball. So, in the original movie, and you don't do spoilers for this, because like you said, Brock, this came out in 1996. Mm-hmm. Everyone should have seen this by now.
Except me.
Except Brock.
Even I've seen it.
Right. But
wow.
He was playing baseball. So we see, Michael Jordan has, quote unquote, lost his way, and he doesn't feel the magic of basketball anymore. Mm-hmm. And then the whole tune thing helps him relive it and, bring it back. And this, kind of like echoing what Bo said, this was kind of like Warner Brothers CV. It was there like, here's our portfolio, and by the way, we're as big or bigger than Disney. So
yeah.
You guys focus on Disney, but look at all the cool stuff we have. And they were so overt about it. Mm-hmm. Like they had a point toward the end of the movie where they're actually playing this basketball game that Bo was talking about, mm-hmm. and you can just pause. Like if Bo wasn't able to do it because he was actually at the theater, but I was here watching it and I was pausing it, and you could pick out so many movies.
Well, I was picking a bunch out though, like some of the obscure stuff, but like the thing about when we go back, one thing I did like that they did was, I was scared they were going to do was when they did do the animation version of the Toon Squad, because the Toon Squad goes from like traditional animation to they do like a 3D mm-hmm. realistic style. The thing about it is when the Toons are like their animated versions, they're not the more modernized, what they call that Cali art style that's very popular with everything. Mm-hmm. They're kind of more cartoon characterized. Of course, it's computer animated, but they look more like the traditional animated Looney Tunes.
Yes.
Which that made me very happy. That's one thing I did like. I was kind of dreading. I was like, don't do it. But then they did that. But like the cool thing about it was like each of the Looney Tunes characters get their own kind of little reintroduction, because essentially somehow the algorithm has made all the other Looney Tunes get stuck out in space and whatever, and they have to, and Bugs and LeBron have to go and recover them because they're assembling a team.
Yeah,
but
and Bugs is the only one who stays in Looney Tunes land on their planet. Mm-hmm.
But while they're flexing all this stuff Warner Brothers does their own, they do like a really good job. Like when they go to recruit Daffy and Porky, they are on the DC world. And this mm-hmm. is one thing you'll appreciate, Brock. When they go there in Metropolis, but the animation style they choose to do for Metropolis is like the Bruce Timm
and Beyond.
This is the Bruce Timm Batman Superman animated series style, like the version of Superman with the big chin and the small eyes, like
super
that style.
Nice.
Superman and them are not in it much because I guess they're kind of like they did it, but they didn't. But they did that.
But they didn't put them in at the very end. It's just kind of like, you done messed up.
Yeah.
They didn't want them to take over. They wanted to. The cool thing about the way they directed this and they did it was they wanted us to figure out what land they were in.
Yeah.
Like they kind of led us on. They're like, oh, obviously this is the superhero land. It's just the same as the introduction of Wile E. Coyote, because Wile E. Coyote
that might be the best one.
It was my favorite because I mean, and this was the most got the most uproar on the internet because people thought it was too racy that they actually put Wile E. Coyote in Mad Max Fury Road. He came out and he was one of the war boys. He did the whole spraying thing on his teeth and did the witness me thing, and but instead of but he had a fork and a knife, and he was going after Roadrunner instead. And it was the greatest thing. And I literally had to pause it and just I about rolled on the floor. Literally.
Great.
It was the greatest thing.
That one was really good. Like I said, probably of all their introductions. So they also did one for Granny from the Tweety and Sylvester. Mm-hmm. Well, no, there was a couple that got me good uproars, and they reminded me that Warner Brothers owned other studios I forgot they owned.
Like The Matrix?
Well, The Matrix I knew they did. That's how they introduced Granny. But how they did Elmer Fudd was, the iconic scene from Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, when they introduced Mini-Me. Mm-hmm. Well, Elmer Fudd was Mini-Me.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, wow.
That is hilarious.
Warner Brothers was really, really leaning on their portfolio with this, like massively. But the way that they did it, it wasn't like they were. I mean, it was obviously they were flexing, but they made it right.
It's in character. It fit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, of course, me and Kevin are big fans of Rick and Morty. Well, Rick and Morty was the people who brought them back to Tasmanian Devil, and the crazy thing about Rick and Morty, they may poke fun at selling out, but like the way they presented themselves, it was in character enough that it was very well done.
And they were only in there for like half a second, and they were like,
but it was great.
He's yours now, and then and they just dropped him off, and that was how we got Tasmanian Devil. I mean, his intro was like half a second. Okay. It was amazing.
But like going back now, we say after they've assembled everybody at the end for the game, this is what me and Kevin talk about. Like, I'm trying to think the obscure ones I need to pick out. The most obscure thing that I saw was the animated form they did the Herculoids. That was the most obscure one that I was able to see. The Herculoids.
The
the Animaniacs were there. You could see them in the background.
I love the Animaniacs.
Mm-hmm.
But like when they had the live action versions of the characters, they were kind of like very Halloween costume, which I understand that was to kind of keep their IP lawyers having to deal with paying likeness rights, because like Batman, Catwoman, and Robin are at the side of the game, but it's like 66 Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's very interesting, but overall, sorry, I'm all over the place with this. I'm just how my brain works.
The thing that Bo and I were talking about in our pre-show was, Don Cheadle is an amazing actor, but he, in my opinion, he felt a bit out of place in this. Like I get it. The idea was that he needed to overact a little bit because he was AI and he's like trying to take over the world, but he I don't know if he quite hit the mark on that. Whereas LeBron, if you compare him to how Michael Jordan acted, Michael Jordan just did not do a good job at all. I mean, it was serviceable, but LeBron, he kind of felt like he'd been acting a while. I mean, he did a pretty darn good job in this movie.
That's the other thing. Also, with this being kind of a sequel / not being a sequel, it is very meta, and like Bugs makes aware of. He's like, oh, there's this life-threatening situation where we have to play a basketball game to get ourselves out of. This sounds oddly familiar. So, like,
Well, I bet y'all didn't know that there is an Alabama tie to the Space Jam movie. Sonequa Martin Green plays the wife, I believe, in this movie. She was born in Russellville. She graduated from the University of Alabama. And she is Sasha from The Walking Dead. She's currently Michael Burnham in Star Trek Discovery. Yes. So there's if we have an Alabama tie to throw in here to our podcast, there you go.
Oh, I cannot wait to beat her in talking to her about some Roll Tide.
She's not the only Walking Dead actor in that movie. Steven Yeun, I played Glenn.
Steven
Yeun.
Is he really?
He's a small part, but
Okay.
he's in it. I was like, okay, well, this is, it's Walking Dead, folks.
And there is somewhat of an Alabama tie to the first Space Jam movie with Michael Jordan and the baseball, and he played baseball here for the Barons. So,
yeah.
Both of them.
Well, and that was actually, if I'm not mistaken, granted, I could be wrong on this. You guys tell me if I am, but I think when they did the filming for the movie, it was actually at the Huntsville Star Stadium. I don't know if it was at the Birmingham Barons Stadium.
I think you're. You may be right on that.
Yeah,
I think so.
Because the Huntsville Stars was a minor league team then. I don't think they are now, but I think because that was one of the things was they were actually at a Barons and Stars game, and I think it was actually filmed at the Huntsville Star Stadium.
Okay.
Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but
I got to bring this up because we're talking about the Huntsville baseball.
Mm-hmm. Huntsville Stars,
yeah. Oh, let me find this really quickly.
I only know the Huntsville Stars because I actually went to one of those games where he was playing. So I get to see Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I did too. It was
amazing.
Yeah.
Did you go to the Barons? I never got a chance to go see one of the Barons.
Well, I mean, he was on the Barons, but they were playing the Stars.
Yeah.
So I went to the Huntsville Star Stadium.
Wow.
Okay, so this past week, the Cleveland Indians announced they're changing their name, Major League Baseball, to the Cleveland Guardians. And that caught the attention of James Gunn. He said, if their logo isn't a raccoon with a machine gun, I'm going to be bummed.
Oh, man.
And then
I see where this is
Huntsville,
going.
the Rocket City Trash Pandas replied to James Gunn and said, how about a raccoon in a trash can spaceship? And then James Gunn replied to the Huntsville team, that is a gigantic step up. Yes.
Fantastic. Oh, that is awesome. I love that.
Our Huntsville baseball team having some fun with James Gunn and the Cleveland Guardians soon.
Well, so far as the new Space Jam's movie, continuing our discussion a little bit, the one thing that we haven't mentioned yet is the introduction of Lola Bunny.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of the best things ever.
Well, the cool thing about Lola was like, I want to say she pretty much was introduced in the original Space Jam. I could be wrong. Am I right?
I think you're right.
Yeah. She was in it. Yeah.
So
she was a huge character in the first one.
Yeah, I think that's where she was introduced.
Yeah, she's also the actual athlete of the tunes. Mm-hmm. But yeah, her, and I need to look. I didn't look on IMDb to see, but essentially she is doing the Amazon trial from the Wonder Woman 84. Their opening sequence. So Lola's trying to be a Amazonian warrior
and actually succeeds. So it was actually really cool.
I need to look here real quick because I want to say that sounded like Gal Gadot being Diana, but I could be wrong.
It really did, big time. But I mean, there was a lot of there were a lot of internet articles that were on just how they changed the way Lola looked and basically desexualized her and made her look more normal. She looks great.
I'd say
bunny.
She's a bunny. She looks great. The only thing, I don't think Bugs hits on her in this one as much, so it's a little more straightforward, and she's a little more empowering in this one.
That's a cool. Yeah, that's a cool thing about it. The only thing I was like, they didn't go with the same voice actress, Kath Source. I think she recorded lines for it, but some reason why I guess they wanted more actor voice recognizing, so they got I always mess with
Zendaya.
Her name's Zendaya.
Zendaya?
I'm not sure exactly, but they did a wonderful job.
This is your generation type stuff, Alyssa.
Zendaya. That's Zendaya.
Zendaya. Okay,
that's what I was saying. Yeah,
I love Zendaya.
Yeah, well, very cool.
But overall, I enjoyed the movie. Like I said, I've seen a bunch of people whine and cry, "Oh, this is terrible."
People don't do that, Bo. What are you talking about?
And my 6-year-old son, this was, he's watched the old Space Jam. He liked it, but then he watched this one and he absolutely loved it. So, I mean, their intended audience is young kids. So,
yeah,
I enjoy it.
I mean, odds are you're going to, it's just like Space Jam. It's got nostalgia for us because, it was when we were teenagers or, early 20s, depending on how old you are. When we were teens, this was a big deal for us. And this, I can see this being the same for this generation, because it's got so much to it, and it's like an onion. There's just every time you watch it, I've seen it twice now. Every time you watch it, you notice new stuff. So,
I feel like anything with a legacy sequel or a reboot, anything, take a chance, enjoy it for what it is and not what it isn't, and you will have a heck of a good time watching it.
All right, so
although I will say it doesn't have Bill Murray in it, unfortunately.
Well, that is one thing I was like, man, where's our Bill Murray-esque cameo? But you know,
and the thing is Bill Murray in the original film, he was kind of shoehorned in there anyway. I mean, it could have been fine without him, and it was kind of like Bill Murray had his own story in the original. So, you know, it was.
Well, didn't Reitman help produce the original movie? I think that might be why he was like. I'm sure he was like, "Yeah, we'll put Bill Murray in that." You know,
yeah. What's he doing? He'll show up on set today.
Well, I mean, he is a big Chicago sports fan. I know he's a big fan of the Cubs and the Bulls. So I'm sure that helps some. But you know,
yeah.
What were you saying, Jess?
And he got to hang out with Michael Jordan. So you know.
I just saw you get the flashlight looking under the computer desk there.
Yeah.
I'm moving my feet around and I'm making sure I'm not stepping on nope rope.
Tom. His name is Tom.
Nope rope.
Tom the Nope Rope.
So far,
sounds like a good children's TV show. Tom the Nope Rope.
So far, no sighting of a snake during the podcast. We're good.
All right.
Haven't screamed
yet.
To
make sure I don't want to be incorrect, I was wrong. Actually, the voice of Wonder Woman was Rosario Dawson. So, okay.
Oh, interesting.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah. This is IMDb in it. So.
All right.
So it was Ahsoka Tano was the voice of.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, well, let's throw it back to an older movie, just like we did with the first Space Jam, Dumb and Dumber. If you guys remember, and everybody who knows this movie knows the scene where they sell off, Lloyd goes and sells off the Mutt Cuts van to fund a little trip to Aspen on a little mini bike. Kevin brought this up in the last episode, and we watched it right before we started recording, where two guys from Common Tread XP, I guess that's their name, they rebuilt the mini bike, a similar version of the mini bike, and they actually did a road trip from Nebraska down to Aspen, which Dumb and Dumber, their version of Aspen was filmed in Breckenridge, Colorado. Nonetheless, they wanted to take the real road trip from Nebraska to Aspen. That had to be one of the best and most inventive things I've seen. They dressed up as Harry and Lloyd, and they took it. The video is about a half hour long, and they took you on the trip and showed you what would happen. How they took 7 gallons of gas to get there, and they started off only getting about 25 miles to the gallon, and they did something to the mini bike and was actually able to get it up to 70 miles.
Yeah, they had to adjust the carburetor.
Yeah,
because they were noticing as they were going, they could smell gas, so it was burning way too rich, and they had to adjust the carburetor. And then like you said, Brock, they get it up to like 70.
Yeah, between 60 and 70 miles per gallon on this thing. So they went through 7 gallons of gas. And of course, they had a van riding behind them the whole time, filming and making sure that they were taken care of. They checked into a hotel, brought the mini bike into the room with them.
You mean snuck the mini bike in?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's like, make sure we're on the ground floor. But it really made me realize, watching, like, every time they stopped for the night, they had to change the back tire because the tread was just running off. It was disappearing in the course of a day because it's on this, like, what?
Well, yeah,
this little bitty 5-pound, 5 pounds of air tire that you can put on any lawnmower or anything like that, which thankfully they said was commonly available on the trip because they had to change the tire out so often. But you realize with the little breakdowns and stuff on this mini bike, it's like 400 miles they drove on this thing. 2 guys recreating the trip. It made me realize there is no chance that Lloyd and Harry would have been able to make this trip because they could not do all the repairs on this mini bike. So many things broke down. So many things broke down. They made it, but they had to do a lot of repairs. I'm like, there's no way Harry and Lloyd could have made it.
Right.
No way.
How long did it take them to make it?
To make the bike?
To make the trip. How long did it take?
How long was it, Kevin? It was a handful of days.
It was like 3.
Yeah,
3 days,
4 days, something like that. Yeah. And it was with very little breaks in between. I mean, they stopped to rest for the night, but You know, not only were they breaking down and having to change things just like on the side of the road, and by the way, they were using tools that were from the van that was following them, but they were the ones making the repairs. So it was like Harry and Lloyd having to make the repairs.
It wouldn't have happened.
No one helped them, or at least no one on camera helped them to make these repairs. And so they tried to keep it as realistic as possible. So, you know, when they would make literally travel all day long, they would get off and you could see them like coated in mud on the front side because they didn't have fenders.
Oh, wow.
And just looking exhausted. And it's like Brock said, there is no way those two idiots could have done this. No. There's no way.
The one thing I did like is the guy who was playing Lloyd, you know, driving the whole way, when at the very end when they made it to Aspen, he lifts up his goggles. His face is dirty, just like Jim Carrey's was. But it was like legit because it's like you said, no fenders, no windshield, and it's just blowing up on him. So yeah, they got that part right. They didn't they didn't have the snot coming out and stuck to their face.
Yeah,
they were not frozen to each other either, were they?
Right.
No, no. But the guy in the front, because there was no fenders, like Kevin said, he had the wet spot from the rain that had popped on.
Oh man,
the wet spot looked like he wet himself in that area. He's like, I didn't do this. It wasn't even warm.
I don't think when they got up there, it was, you know, obviously it's Aspen, so it was cold and it was, you know, I don't think it really wasn't snowing. There was snow on the ground, but I don't necessarily know if it was cold enough, or it could have just been that, you know, obviously this was a movie. They did that for a movie effect. And the point here was it was a journey. It was actually a fairly wholesome film to follow. It was very interesting, very engaging. And the whole thing was to prove that someone could do it. Like, even though we came to the conclusion the two idiots in the film could not have done it themselves, a pair of people could have done that. They did it. They actually did it. And did the full trip. Yep. So yeah, I mean, a phenomenal film.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. Like I said, it's about a half hour. We'll link to it on our social media at Bama Geeks, Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. We'll link to it. You guys can check it out. It's worth a watch. It really is.
Yeah.
So if you have a nostalgia love for Dumb and Dumber, these guys, they even recreated that scene. You know, when Lloyd drives up with the mini bike, they recreated it at the beginning of the video, and they did it spot on. It was great.
Yeah, shot for shot. And you guys will be impressed that the entire trip, they made it with the briefcase.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, wow.
They had the briefcase the entire time.
Mary Samsonite.
Yep, exactly.
I was way off.
Yeah. I mean, you can imagine that this guy pulls up and he's like, get 70 miles per gallon on this hog.
And they weren't far off.
No. Now, I don't think they ever quite got 70, but I think he said he got like 65.
Yeah, it was up in the mid-60s. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll link to it. You guys will enjoy it. It's good, especially, like I said, if you're nostalgic for Dumb and Dumber.
Mm-hmm.
So. Well, the last thing we really want to touch on, and it's been 2 weeks, so we don't have to go in depth with it, but just final thoughts on the season finale of Loki. How were the predictions? How was Kevin's theory?
Well, we did get the Kang the Conqueror.
Well, and you know, one of my big theories, Jessica, remember, one of my big theories was she was going to screw him over.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, well, who was right?
Well, she
I am a winner.
Well, I don't think he was technically. He is not Kang. He was what?
Right,
he remains.
He was a variant.
What do they call it? The archivist. I think that's what they call him in the comics. Well, he looks nothing like
Mortius or something like that. There's a character or something. Yeah.
So basically, Marvel has set us up to where they're like, you know, as long as this guy decides he wants to do this character, we can say this is Kang number 1.
Right.
This is Kang number 2. This is Kang when he was an alligator. This is Kang when he was this. They could just keep doing Kangs all day. Because we get to the end of the episode and we realize that, you know, Loki has been sent to a reality where Kang has now just been like, I'm the dude in charge. There were no 3. This is the way it's going to be. And I think the reason they did that was because that's a reality and the setup that we're going to concentrate on for the rest of the MCU is that, okay, Kang's now a thing.
Yeah. This takes us into the next phase. The whole multiverse is opened up now.
One of the big theories that I heard was in the episode, there's a point at which this character, Kang, we're just calling him Kang for simplification. He gets to a point where he no longer knows what's going on. Like he just gets to a point where now everything that's been written, he has no clue, and he admits it. Mm-hmm. There's a theory online that was the point in which Wanda got her powers.
Yeah, there's been some fan comparison videos, which to me, I think if it would be a point in Wanda, it wouldn't be when she became the actual Scarlet Witch. To me, it would be when she opened the book and started venturing to find her children that exist but don't exist.
Yeah, because at the very end, you actually she's in the book, you hear her children.
Yeah,
and then she opens her eyes like really big, and I think that's when the timelines are branching. Mm-hmm. And if you noticed,
but from visual standpoint, her getting her Scarlet Witch powers, it works more that way. Yeah.
Well, if you notice that, and granted, this is probably reaching really far, and it's probably not true, but there's a portion of that branched timeline now that's really scarlet red colored, and there's been some theories like there may be some Scarlet Witch tie-in there, with the branch off that we may be going to get to see.
I think the biggest beauty now with them embracing the multiverse is it gives the guys who directs, the writers and the directors, more freedom rather than be stuck to we must do this timeline for everything to make sense to this big event they're building. Right. Now it's like, hey, we can make this movie and do whatever we want, and it might be a scapegoat, but hey, multiverse.
Right. Right. Yeah. So see, now they can bring Taika Waititi and let him do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah.
And instead of saying you got to do this for the MCU, you just literally let the guy do whatever he wants to do.
That's what he's talking about. I've heard him talking about for Love and Thunder about how it's probably going to be the most absurd movie he's ever made. And
bring it on.
This is the guy who created What We Do in the Shadows, the TV show, and that show is just wonky. So that's
Well, I want to get to a point where I can check that out. Yeah.
Made me think also with the things since you're talking about Kang seems to be the big thing. I saw someone else pointed out that apparently the color purple is just the thing that causes trouble in the Marvel universe. First you had Thanos, then Agatha, she was clad in purple. Oh. Baron Zemo, his mask was purple. Kang the Conqueror wears a purple robe.
So does that mean that we're leading to Sam Jackson turning bad?
Ooh,
because Sam Jackson's in general, his thing is purple.
That is true.
Yeah. Does that mean that we're going to see a familiar character flip and turn bad?
Is it too soon to talk about one person who's got a little bit of a purple hair in Black Widow?
Well.
Are we stepping into spoiler territory for anybody?
It won't bother me. Like I said, Widow, I'm going to watch eventually. It's just not on the.
That's probably reaching.
So good. Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm not touching on it. But there's somebody in Black Widow with a little bit of purple tint to their hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And this person is going to be very big in the upcoming MCU, especially with some things that happened in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know who you're talking about, Brock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do too.
But overall, going back to Loki, it's still impressive that they're planning to do like the MCU, the next big phase for it was based off basically a TV show within it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Do it with a movie. But TV show makes more sense because they could do the whole TV. They got to do a deeper, longer explanation of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And one thing I want to point out really quickly was I the only one who kind of thought, behind Kang, the archivist, whoever, you got the big window.
Oh, I know what you're about to do.
The big circle window. And then there is a little circle window to the upper left and then a little circle window to the upper right. Hello, Hidden Mickey.
That's right.
Yeah.
The mouse.
Disney. Well, and the extremely, extremely overt feeling of Wizard of Oz / Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Wizard of Oz, the whole thing where he was talking about, you guys, you think you have free will. I wrote all this. I did all this. And I paved the road. And all you did was walk down it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you might as well have just said walk down the yellow brick road because this whole thing felt like Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Like pulling apart Eliath and then walking in and then seeing it was almost like the wizard's castle.
Mm-hmm.
And let's talk a second about just the design of his house, like his
fort, yes,
with like it was all had been blown apart and then put back together with gold or something.
Yeah,
man, just the thoughts behind that were phenomenal.
Well, the crazy thing about, like I said, the previous episode was very action oriented. You know, they were all fighting to get there. And then once you get there, this movie was this episode was all dialogue driven and kind of what has happened. Like, you know what I mean? Like going back, like even though for nothing like outside of, you know, big stuff happened, like not that much did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it was mostly Kang and Sylvie and Loki in that one room, and then the fate of the multiverse is unleashed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you haven't mentioned the one terrifying moment that we had in this whole thing where Miss Minutes goes, "Hi y'all!" Just like pops in like all of a sudden, and we're like, "Whoa!"
That's why I started the podcast that way. This episode.
And the only way it would have made it more scary if she finished it off with a "bless your heart," you know.
That would have been great.
Well, you guys just see how that turns out. It just disappears. It's like, all right.
Oh, I really loved He Who Remains. He was a complete goofball.
He was.
Mm-hmm.
His character was a complete goofball, but it was so much fun to watch him and love him. I loved seeing him explain, "You can kill me off, but whoever takes my place."
Yeah.
And then at the very end where he's like, "See you soon."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're like, whoa, foreshadowing.
Yeah. Which movie down the road is going to feature him prominently? Like
Ant-Man, I believe.
Yeah, that's
Ant-Man.
it. Yeah, Ant-Man and the Quantum Mania.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you're going to see Kang. That's already been announced by Marvel.
Yeah.
That's where Kang is going to come into play. So I'm wondering if we're going to see any of the other variants of him before we run into Kang in the new Ant-Man movie.
Well, let's see. You've got Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man. Those are the big two coming out, correct?
Yes.
And the Eternals.
And the Eternals. I keep forgetting about the Eternals. And Shang-Chi,
yeah. Okay.
I don't think. I guess Ant-Man's supposed to come out. Is it 2022 or 2023?
It might be next year.
Well, we're a ways off from seeing Kang. That's the one that's
2023.
Yeah. We're kind of ways off.
In the event that you want more, by the way, his name's Jonathan Majors. In the event that you want to see Jonathan Majors in his prime, where he's incredible, Lovecraft Country.
I've heard a lot of people
watch Lovecraft Country.
Okay.
That show is like so incredibly crazy wonky, but he is phenomenal in that. The fact that he was chosen to be this, and the fact that we know that the assumption at this point that we know that he's going to be in a lot of Marvel stuff coming up because he's Kang. He's going to be the face of Kang, whether it's this or that. I don't know if they could have picked a better actor. Mm-hmm. I mean, this guy's very up and coming. He's got the chops for it. And I mean, like Brock said, he showed us a character that has very obviously been at that fortress for way too long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's been by himself with just Miss Minutes to talk to. And, you know, just the way he talks, you kind of get the sense even before he says he's tired of this job that he is like, there's the Willy Wonka thing where Willy Wonka has been in that factory and hasn't been out in public for so long. He doesn't know how to act. Yeah. He doesn't know how to coordinate with people. He doesn't know how to socialize.
And he wants to pass that on to, he's ready to give the job up. He's wanting to pass the job along. Mm-hmm.
So you got that very prominent Willy Wonka vibe, like, you know, y'all both got a golden ticket. So let's talk, you know, that kind of thing. And then, so we transitioned from the Wizard of Oz now to Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
And we know that there is going to be a season 2 of Loki, whenever that decides to come out. So
yeah, that was good to see.
And Tom Hiddleston has said that he'll play Loki anytime. He could never get tired of playing this character.
Well, good, because we can't get tired of seeing him.
Right.
Like I said, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Season 2 better give us Mobius and his jet ski, though. That's the only thing. If that doesn't happen, I will riot.
From what I understand, the original post-credit scene was supposed to be like an alternate ending that they were supposed to have, but because of COVID, things have gotten shuffled around, and they decided to push through with making Jonathan Majors' character more prominent instead of like him just being a hint at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what I was assuming as one of my theories before. It was like we were just going to see him at the very end as a hint. That's supposedly how it was originally going to be. Was that he wasn't going to be a big thing in this episode? It was going to be something else, and then an alternate ending was going to be going to give us a little bit of a teaser of that, a little bit more of it, as it might have been, because the way the movies were going to be lined up because of COVID, we would have already gotten a little more of a glimpse of it as it was. So, it's kind of fortuitous, I think, because we never would have gotten this level of exposure to the villain. Because, I mean, you guys remember when we were first exposed to Thanos, it was him up on his throne and he just kind of looks back and you just see that big massive chin of his and with, all the creases and stuff. And then that's all you saw of Thanos. And then we were left guessing for however many years it was. And so we pretty much at this point, we know who Kang is. We know about him. We know that Sylvie, who is probably now, I'm going to assume, another one of our predictions, the next time we see her, she will be going by the Enchantress. She screwed us over. She screwed everybody over.
I'm so mad about that, by the way. I'm a hopeless romantic. I was really hoping that everything would work out. And this was a great way to segue into all the new movies, the new setup or whatever. But I'm still upset. I loved them together. So
I mean, she'll be a good villain. I mean, if she continues on, I mean, you guys keep in mind, she's still at the fortress. She still has the little dial, so she can still do things. So what's to say she doesn't just decide to go and try to pull a Doc Brown and fix this?
Yeah,
I don't think she can.
But she's also still very heavy revenge focused. So I mean, she's still got her personal beef with Renslayer she needs to finish.
Yeah,
that's true. And Renslayer is now off doing her thing, so maybe we'll see a spinoff with them, doing portal chasing where they're chasing each other around time.
Looking for
that
cake.
Would be cool.
Well, fantastic. Yeah, we don't know when season 2 of Loki's going to hit, but it's going to be a lot of fun, and we've got a lot of good Marvel stuff coming out between now and then. So. All
I know is Doctor Strange is going to have a lot of cleaning up to do.
Yeah.
Because the amount of people, the stuff has been screwed up since his last movie. He's going to be like, what did you guys do?
Oh, he's going to be mad. Well, deservedly mad.
Yeah. So. All because he was texting on his phone when he shouldn't have been. And now he's got the multiverse.
I just took a nap for just a second.
Yeah.
You guys, I took a break for 15 minutes to play some Pokemon Go. And then you guys screw up the entire multiverse. How did that happen? This was just revenge for making Loki fall for 30 minutes.
Well, someone said also this is all happened because the Hulk hates stairs. You really think about it.
I like that.
Well, anything else you guys want to talk about on our Front Porch Banter episode, our first banter episode?
No, I think we covered it.
Hey, man, I think we're good. I think we're about ready to get in the cars and drive off. We've said our southern goodbyes.
Yep.
Yeah,
we lasted about as long as it normally takes to get off the porch and say goodbye.
Yeah, I'm kind of tired of my rocking chair at this point. I'm gonna go back in and sit on the couch.
I need to go put some leftovers in a butter dish somewhere, in a butter bowl somewhere. So.
Surprise leftovers.
Yeah, exactly. Is it butter or is it?
It could be chili.
Yeah.
It could be vegetable soup. Maybe cornbread. We don't know.
Well, in our house, it's Cool Whip Bowl. So
yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah.
That's our fine china. Solo cups and Cool Whip bowls. Well, Alyssa, thanks for being on here again with us. Glad you were in town to join us.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Sorry I didn't say much, but I did crochet the front part of a sweater. So
and it's beautiful.
It's gorgeous. Yeah, we're looking at it right now.
So she's going to get. She's now accomplished more productive behavior than I'm probably going to do all week. So that's
same here. Yeah, I'm off on vacation this week to be with the kids. So I know I'm not doing anything productive. We're going to enjoy the week and have a good time. So, well, we thank you so much. Oh, that's a loud yawn, Missy.
Sorry, you didn't hear that.
You're not supposed to do that until we get off.
The youngest one of us is yawning.
Yeah. We're old and we're hanging. Come on, girl.
Sorry.
Well, we thank you so much for joining us. We have reached double digits, as we said, episode 10 of the Bama Geeks. And we really appreciate all the support. We're having a lot of fun, as we always say, and we can't do this without you. I mean, we could, but it wouldn't be as much fun. But
we're so glad you're along on this ride with us.
Frog, don't kid yourself. We all like just to talk to ourselves and talk to each other anyway. This is just with an understood audience is all it is.
Yeah.
We would be doing this regardless.
I'm Southern. I was just trying to be nice.
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
Well, you guys have a wonderful couple of weeks until we see you again. We've got a lot of fun coming up over the next couple of weeks, especially Jess and I, because as of this record, let's say 2 days. No, right before we get to our next recording, we're going to Atlanta Comic-Con, and I'm gonna see Jodie Benson again, Little Mermaid Ariel. So I'm excited. That's my birthday gift from Jess. Yet again, it was in 2019.
Yeah.
We're going to do a deja vu, except this time not as far away.
Nice.
So our con season begins in less than 2 weeks. We're excited for that.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah. Things get full swing again.
Yep. So you guys stay safe. Thank you for joining us. Hit up at Bama Geeks on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. BamaGeeks@gmail.com if you want to drop us a line. Check us out on YouTube. Just search Bama Geeks, because once those subscriber numbers go up, we can get a custom URL. So I'm just going to tell you to search instead of giving you a URL, because there's a whole bunch of numbers and letters and symbols. So we'd appreciate if you want to get on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star rating. We appreciate it. Give us a great review. And as we've said before, if you don't like us, please don't leave a response. But hit us up everywhere you can find a podcast, YouTube included. And thank you so much again. We enjoy this. We enjoy you. We love you. And we'll catch you next time.
Thanks. Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Thank y'all.
Bye.